Barcelona won again. Wow, was that game just wildly useless? But it was going to be. It was bound to be. After last game against PSG, we're on such a high, and we have such a big game next week that this game was going to be a lull no matter what happened. No matter if it was like, even against Girona, I would argue, it would be considerably less interesting to so many of us. But the fact that this was Cadiz, the lineup was the lineup that it was going to be a little bit of a snooze fest, and that's how it turned out. But there are some important things that I think we can walk away from and discuss a little bit. Ideally, first, it's got to be Felix's goal. Scored a nice little bicycle kick. I'm happy for him. I think he deserves this. He's been pretty solid this season. He was good today. I think he could have walked away with maybe 2. I could push it to 3 goals. He was good. He could have even had more. He deserved that goal, though, and it was a good shot. Outside of that, the first half was wildly chaotic. Just that, of course, that lineup is going to be. There's very little control and little creativity, honestly, especially in that midfield. Firmino was very reckless with the ball. That's how he always is, though, and we're kind of used to that. That's what he's put in for, because he can run and he can create things once in a while, or, I don't know what he really does, but I enjoy watching him, so I think that's worth talking about. I don't think he was great today. It wasn't his best work. He wasn't fantastic. I can say the same about most of this lineup. I think Kubarsi was pretty elite today again. Made maybe some mistakes, but I think Kubarsi was pretty solid overall. And I think I would say the same for Christensen. Very solid, no complaints. Handled Cadiz's defense or offense pretty well. I didn't feel threatened for the vast majority of that match, and that is wild for a match that we saw a decent cameo from the fullback pairing of Marcos Alonso and Sergio Roberto. That's crazy. That's honestly insane that we were able to walk away from that and be like, yeah, that was cool. That was okay. I really didn't feel threatened. Like, okay, there was a good shot at the end of that match where Ter Stegen made a really good save. But overall, I think we should have won that game. We did win that game. We deserved to win that game, and the players were pretty solid as well. Roque was a big highlight of starting this match. I think a lot of people were very excited to see him. I was as well. He hasn't really gotten that much time recently, nor has he gotten a full 90 yet, and he didn't get one today. I was hoping he would, but they did end up taking him out to bring on Lamine Yamal so that Ferran Torres could go centrally. And Roque was okay for the amount of minutes he got. I think he was getting thrown around a lot, and he wasn't getting the fouls for most of that match. So it's going to be difficult for anybody who isn't Erling Haaland to deal with that. But I think he did create some chaos, some excitement. Was pressing well as always, but he was getting no service, as a lot of people in my chat highlighted. He was just not getting the ball given to him. And it's going to be hard for any striker to create in that situation unless you're prime Harry Kane or Robert Lewandowski. Otherwise, it's just very difficult. It was a very wide open match and just a weird one. Not one usual of Barcelona, but and a lot of the guys otherwise were kind of mid. I think Ferran Torres was decent, but not great. I think I could say the same for Romeu. There were some good moments. I don't think he was fantastic. I'm fine with his performance. So for what we get from Romeu, I'm fine with it. I really don't care that much. Sergio Roberto, again, I think he was actually a little bit decent today, but not great. Again, there's nothing really to brag about from this match. A lot of us were hoping to see Mika Faye, but we didn't get to see him. He didn't come in. Koundé ended up coming in when Christensen went out. Again, which is fine. But overall, this game was just very boring, and we just needed to put something together to move us towards the big match that's happening this week. And it's hard to ignore, and I am a little disappointed that we had to bring Pedri and Koundé and Lamine Yamal into this match. I don't think they needed to. I don't think they should have. And I think it was a dangerous decision. We saw Pedri on the ground a few times, and it was scary. It was pretty concerning to me. He is very injury prone, and look, he does shore up that midfield. He does make it a little bit cleaner, and he does play well when he's in, and he changes games, and he cleaned it up a little bit today for sure, but I don't think this win is worth it. I was saying it a lot, it is an important match because losing this basically completely takes us out. It completely takes us out of La Liga, and that's not something we want, but for so long we felt like we were out of La Liga anyway, and I'm not saying we're not, because I think it's something like 8 points. Let me check now. La Liga standings. It's close. And so, right, we're 8 points back. And so if we beat Real Madrid, we're only 5 points back, and that's a couple slip-ups. It's a lot to ask with only 7 games remaining. So in my head, La Liga doesn't really matter. The only things that matter is beating PSG this week and beating Real Madrid. And if we can do that, we've got a lot to look forward to, and screw the Madrid game, honestly. I know we want to win. It's weird to say it doesn't matter, but if we beat PSG, I don't care about the Madrid game, realistically. I will care when I'm watching it and when I'm talking about it, but realistically, as I've said for the 8th time, the Champions League is what matters. So the fact that we had to put out so many starters today in coming in at the end of that was mildly concerning and a little upsetting to me. And the fact that we didn't see Faya, we did see Marc Casado. I think this was his 2nd match in La Liga in his entire career, and he looked fine. I don't think he looked great, but Romeu was also still in the match, I believe. I don't think he came out. Let's see, did Romeu come out? No, Felix came out just to shore up the match. And so, you know, you're not going to really see any pure pivot moments for him or a real chance for him. But Hector Fort was good today. I didn't say much about him. He looked pretty solid to me. SofaScore only has him at a 6.7. I would give him more of like a 7.5. I think he was good when he was called upon, and not much to complain about there. Overall, that's this match. Very much so not that important. Not that big of a deal, and we should still be proud of each other, and that we can walk out of there with a win. It reminded me of last season, especially with Marcos Alonso and Sergio Roberto playing fullback, but we walked out of there with a win, just like we did all of last season. That ended up helping us win La Liga. So the fact that they can still do that is pretty good, and I'm proud of them. But overall, everything is looking towards the Champions League match against PSG. I'm really anxious, and I'm sure everybody else is as well. I don't think there's going to be a video up on the second channel talking about it, but maybe I'll make something. I probably won't because I'm just busy this weekend. But the next video, hopefully on the main channel, is out tomorrow. It also might be out later tomorrow just because I'm pretty far behind. But we'll see how it goes. And thank you for watching. Visca Barca, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.